Hi, in this video I want to show you how to use the drag and drop designer. So we've set up our attribute form, but one thing we can also do, especially if you have a long survey form, is set up or organize your different fields into tabs so that you have one set of tabs for one component of the field survey, another tab for another component of it. And this can just help, especially like I said, with a long survey with lots of questions, help organize that form into a more user-friendly format. So it's quite simple to do. Here I am in QGIS, and I've got my layer properties open, and I've just set up all of my attribute forms. And what I'm going to do now is, where it says auto-generate, choose the drag and drop designer. So the drag and drop designer allows you to create these tabs. And so I can simply click this plus button, and it calls the tab a container. So I'm going to create a new container. I'm going to call this tree info. And I'll click OK. And now I see tree info as a container that's been added. And what I can do is add fields to this. So I can drag tree species, tree type, fruit tree, circumference, and perhaps photograph underneath that. And then what I can do is add a second container, and I'll call this other info. And I'll click OK, and I'll drag the date, notes, and collector underneath that. And I'm simply going to select FID and remove that from the form layout. So I now have my two tabs with the fields organized within them, so I can click OK. Let me just show you how this would work. So if I put my tree layer into edit mode, and I'm going to put a new tree in here, I can say this is an apple tree. It is deciduous. I'll say that's the circumference, and I don't have a photograph. It is a fruit tree, and I'll click OK. So there's a tree point. And if I use the Identify Features window and select this point, I'll get my standard Identify Feature fields and values. But I can put this Identify Results into the feature form view. And that will show my two tabs with that information displayed on it. And this would be the way it will appear in input. This will also be the way it appears in an attribute table. So if I open up the attribute table, again, I have my fields in this normal view, but I can also choose the form view and see my data organized in this way. And you'll notice that my aliases show up as the headers when I have an alias set. So that's something to think about too. And if I go back to this switch form view, you'll see the expression that I entered for the browsing my features, apple tree surveyed on 9/16/2022. So that's how you can set up the drag and drop designer. It can really help make a long survey form much easier to use. So for this example, I'm going to toggle out of editing and discard my edits. And in the next video, you're going to learn how to use the QGIS plugin for Mergin Maps to create a Mergin Maps project and upload this project to the Mergin cloud.